Weeks passed, but the laughter from that day never faded. Noah and Max became inseparable, like two halves of the same heartbeat. Every morning, Max would wait by Noah's crib before he even woke up. The moment Noah opened his eyes, his first smile was always for Max. They shared toys, snacks, and countless naps on the living room floor. Sometimes, Max would bring Noah his little shoes, nudging him to play outside. Their friendship grew louder, messier, and even more adorable. If Noah cried, Max would nuzzle him gently until the tears stopped. When Noah learned to crawl, Max became his soft, furry bodyguard. Every step the baby took, Max followed closely behind. Mom would often laugh, saying, "You've got your own golden guardian." And it was true. Max was more than a pet now. He was family, protector, and partner in all mischief. Their days were filled with muddy paw prints and endless giggles. Sometimes Noah would pull Max's tail, not out of meanness, but curiosity, and Max, ever patient, would just sigh and roll his eyes. Every night, Max would lie beside Noah's crib until he fell asleep. It was their silent promise. "I'm here, always." Noah's world felt safe, wrapped in fur and unconditional love. Together, they grew not just in years, but in memories. Mom's camera was filled with moments of pure innocence. From that one funny scream, a lifetime of laughter had begun. Max had found his purpose, and Noah had found his first best friend, and their story was only getting started. Because soon, a new adventure was waiting around the corner. One sunny afternoon, Noah and Max crawled their way to the backyard. The world outside felt huge, full of grass, flowers, and buzzing bees. Noah's laughter echoed through the air as Max chased butterflies. Mum watched from the porch, smiling as her two little explorers played. Then, Max found something strange buried under a pile of leaves. His nose twitched as he sniffed. It was an old rubber ball. He barked proudly, tail wagging like he'd discovered treasure. Noah clapped, cheering for his friend's heroic find. Max dropped the ball near Noah and barked again, inviting him to play. Noah tried to throw it, but it just rolled a few inches away. Max didn't mind. He brought it back every single time, back and forth. Their little game went on for hours. The golden sunlight painted their laughter in soft, glowing hues. Mom couldn't believe how naturally they understood each other. No words, no instructions, just pure connection. Even the wind seemed to hum along to their joy. Then suddenly, Max tripped over his own paws and fell into a puddle. Noah laughed so hard, he nearly toppled over too. Mud splattered everywhere, but neither cared. It wasn't just playtime anymore. It was friendship in its purest form. Mom ran over with a towel but couldn't stop laughing either. Her camera clicked, capturing that muddy, priceless chaos. It was messy, real, and beautiful, just like life. The day ended with baths, cuddles, and warm milk. But that backyard adventure became one of their favorite memories. One rainy night, the laughter faded for a while. A thunderstorm rolled in, loud and frightening. Noah woke up crying, terrified by the thunder outside. Mom rushed to his room, but before she could reach him, Max was already there. The Labrador jumped onto the rug, curling up beside the crib. Noah grabbed Max's fur tightly, finding comfort in his warmth. Every time lightning flashed, Max stayed still and calm. His steady heartbeat told Noah, "You're safe. I'm here." It was a moment of silent bravery, one that only true friends share. Even Mom teared up seeing how protective Max had become. That night, They both slept together until the storm passed. By morning, the world outside was quiet again. Raindrops still clung to the window, glistening like little gems. Noah woke up smiling, his fear completely gone. Max wagged his tail softly. Proud of his midnight duty, Mom whispered, "You're a hero." Max, kissing his head. It wasn't just a pet saving a child, it was love saving love. Sometimes the smallest acts create the biggest peace. Noah learned that as long as Max was around, he had nothing to fear. The bond that started with a scream had turned into strength. Every storm that followed was just another night of cuddles. Because heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wag their tails, and sometimes they protect with silence instead of words. From that day, Noah trusted Max with all his heart, because he'd already proven friendship never sleeps. Weeks later, life was back to joy and giggles again. Noah was now learning to walk. Wobbling with determination, Max followed like a shadow, ready to catch him if he fell. One day, Noah toddled toward Max. Calling him in his baby voice, Max perked up, tilting his head as if he understood every word. When Noah stumbled, Max quickly steadied him with his body. Mom laughed. "You're teaching him better than I can." Max barked happily, proud of his little student. Noah, full of mischief, suddenly poked Max's nose. Max sneezed, and the baby exploded in laughter. Again, the same laughter that had once followed a scream months ago. It was like the universe had come full circle. From fear to friendship, their bond had become the soul of the household. Neighbors stopped by just to see the famous duo. Everyone loved watching Noah and Max's innocent adventures. Mom even made a photo album titled From Screams to Smiles. Every picture told a story of love, patience, and second chances. The house was now filled with warmth. No fear, no tears, only laughter, toys, and paw prints on the floor. Noah's first word wasn't Mama or Dada, it was Max. And when he said it, Max wagged his tail like he understood everything. That was the true sign. Their friendship was forever. And even Mom couldn't hold back her tears of joy. Sometimes the funniest moments lead to the most beautiful bonds of babies. Scream turned into the laughter that healed a home. Dog's innocent yawn became a story of trust and love. It's a reminder that misunderstanding doesn't end connection, only it begins it. Max never gave up on Noah, even when he was scared. And Noah learned that love can be big, gentle, and golden. Their story taught millions that loyalty isn't spoken, it's shown. We often rush to fear what we don't understand, but sometimes all it takes is a little patience and a wagging tail. Max became more than a pet. He became a life lesson that love isn't perfect. It's messy, funny, and sometimes loud. Yet it's the purest thing we'll ever know. The world laughed, cried, and smiled with them, but for Max and Noah, it was just another day of growing together. Their bond reminded everyone watching that family can be found anywhere. Even in fur, drool, and baby giggles, Noah would grow up. But these memories would stay forever, and somewhere deep down, he'd always remember that day. The day fear turned into friendship, and laughter became their shared language, because love doesn't need translation, it just needs heart. Max yawned again, and this time Noah only laughed louder. The camera faded, but the warmth remained. Their story ended, but their friendship never will. But their friendship never will. It started like any other quiet morning in the living room. Sunlight spilled across the floor, toys scattered everywhere. And in the middle of it all sat baby Noah. Beside him, his loyal Labrador, Max, stretched lazily, tail thumping against the rug. The two had been inseparable since Noah was born. Partners in crime, nap buddies and snack thieves. But today, something unexpected was about to happen. Noah gurgled, reaching out toward Max's big, floppy ears. Max tilted his head, curious, watching the tiny human with gentle eyes. Then, with one enormous yawn, the Labrador opened his mouth wide, too wide. For Max, it was just a yawn. But for baby Noah, it was a monster's roar. The baby's eyes went wide, his face turned red, and then chaos erupted. Noah screamed at the top of his lungs, waving his little arms in pure panic. Max froze, ears perked up, unsure if he'd done something terribly wrong. The baby's cry echoed through the house like a siren. Max looked around helplessly, then let out a tiny whimper, almost apologetic. But what happened next? No one could have expected, because instead of running away, Max decided to fix his mistake in his own hilarious dog way, and within seconds, the entire house would be filled with laughter instead of tears. A friendship that started with a scream was about to turn into the cutest comedy ever. This is the story of how one yawn created the funniest baby dog moment you'll ever see. And it all began with a single, innocent, "ah, woof." The morning started calm, but peace never lasts long in a house with a baby. Noah sat on the floor, chewing on his favorite rattle like a tiny explorer. Max, the Labrador, lay beside him, half asleep and dreaming of bones. A gentle breeze came through the window, making the curtains dance softly. The quiet hum of the morning gave a sense of perfect normalcy, until Max decided it was time for his big morning stretch. He yawned, opening his mouth wider than Noah had ever seen. To Noah, it looked like a giant monster was trying to eat him whole. The rattle dropped from his hand and bounced across the floor. Then came that ear-piercing scream only babies can produce. Max's tail stopped wagging immediately. His eyes widened. He had no idea what he'd done wrong. He was just being himself. The baby's tiny fists flailed in the air like a warrior in distress. Max tilted his head from side to side, confused but concerned. He crawled a little closer, nose twitching, trying to make things right. But the closer he got, the louder Noah screamed. It was now a full-blown comedy of confusion. From the kitchen, Mom heard the scream and ran in like lightning. She froze. One look at Max's guilty face, and she couldn't help but laugh. Noah was crying, Max was whining, and Mom was laughing. All at once, that's when she realized this moment needed to be recorded. She grabbed her phone, hit record, and the internet's next viral video began. The camera caught everything: the chaos, the cuteness, and the confusion. Max blinked twice, still clueless, but ready to win his little human's heart again. And that's when things took a hilariously sweet turn. Max slowly approached Noah, his head lowered in pure guilt. His golden eyes glimmered with worry. As if to say, "I didn't mean to scare you," Noah sniffled, staring at the big dog with teary eyes. For a moment, it was complete silence. Two friends on opposite sides of fear. Then Max did something unexpected. He picked up Noah's rattle with his mouth and dropped it in his lap. Noah stopped crying for a second, confused by the gesture. Max wagged his tail softly, trying to make peace. When that didn't work, Max decided to add some performance. He laid down flat on his belly, paws stretched forward like a humble apology. His ears drooped low, and his tail brushed the floor gently. Noah blinked, watching the dog's dramatic apology. It was as if Max had just realized how fragile his little human's heart was. Then Max rolled onto his back, paws in the air, his best "forgive me" move. Noah stared for a second, and then a small giggle escaped his lips. Mom gasped from behind the camera. It was working. Max wagged faster. Encouraged by the tiny laugh, he gently placed one paw near Noah's foot, careful not to scare him again. The baby didn't scream this time. Instead, he smiled. That small smile was all Max needed to know he'd been forgiven. The friendship reset button had just been pressed. Mom whispered, "Good boy, Max." And in that moment, the living room felt lighter again. The tension melted away, replaced by pure warmth and laughter. But Max wasn't done. He wanted to make Noah really laugh this time. After his grand apology, Max decided it was playtime. He spotted Noah's soft plush duck lying nearby. With a quick swoop, he picked it up and tossed it into the air. The duck landed on Max's head, covering his eyes completely. Noah burst out laughing, the kind of laughter that makes your heart melt. Mom couldn't hold the camera steady anymore. She was laughing too. Max, realizing he had an audience, leaned into the act. He started walking blindly, bumping into the sofa with the duck still on his head. Every step made Noah giggle louder. It became a full-blown comedy show starring Max, the Labrador he shook his head to remove. The duck? It flew straight into Noah's lap. The baby clapped his tiny hands in delight. Max wagged his tail proudly, finally seeing the little human smile again. It was like he had just discovered the cure for baby tears. Mom captured the whole moment, whispering, "This is gold." The video was only a few seconds long, but full of heart. It showed love, innocence, and how pure animal instincts can be. Max lay down next to Noah again, resting his chin gently beside him. The baby touched Max's nose, giggling once more. The world's funniest misunderstanding had just turned into the sweetest friendship. For the first time that day, silence filled the room. The good kind. It was peace, wrapped in fur and laughter. Noah looked at Max like he was his superhero again, and Max, he just wagged his tail. Mission accomplished. But the story wasn't over yet. Something even cuter was coming next. That evening, Mum uploaded the video online. She didn't expect much, just a funny clip to share with family. But by the next morning, the notifications wouldn't stop. Millions of people had watched it overnight. The comments were full of laughter and heart emojis. Cutest baby dog duo ever. One person wrote, "This made my day," said another. The world had fallen in love with Noah and Max. Even local news channels picked it up as the adorable scream that melted hearts. Mom couldn't believe it. Her living room chaos had gone global. Max had no idea he was now a celebrity. He still acted like his goofy, tail-wagging self. People started sending fan gifts, toys, treats, and little outfits for Max. Noah and Max became the internet's new favorite pair, and every time Noah watched the video, he laughed all over again. It became their daily ritual. Baby laughs, dog tail wags, pure joy. What started as a misunderstanding had turned into a legend of laughter. Even months later, the video still spread smiles everywhere. Mom framed a photo of that exact moment. Noah laughing, Max grinning. It reminded everyone that joy can come from the simplest things. One scared scream had turned into global happiness. Max had done more than make peace. He'd united hearts online. And deep down, he was still just Noah's best friend. No fame, no filters, just love, but behind that love, there was a lesson too. Sometimes, what looks scary is just misunderstood. Max's yawn wasn't a threat. It was a sign of comfort. But in that tiny misunderstanding, a bond grew even stronger. It reminds us that love doesn't always start perfectly. It begins in chaos, confusion, and second chances. Max taught everyone that actions mean more than words. He didn't talk. He apologized through kindness. Noah learned that laughter heals fear faster than tears ever could. And Mom? She learned that some moments are too beautiful to plan. They just happen, naturally, unexpectedly, and hilariously. The story became a symbol of innocence and connection, that no matter how small or big, love finds its way back, even if it starts with a scream. Max and Noah's friendship continues to grow every day, and millions still smile because of their one funny moment. In a noisy world, their laughter became pure peace. That's the power of love. Simple, loyal, and full of joy. So next time life surprises you, don't rush to fear it, because maybe it's just a Labrador trying to say hello, and that hello could change everything. End of story. But the laughter lives on. The camera stopped rolling, but the bond never did. Max yawned again. This time, Noah just giggled, because some friendships start with fear and end with forever. With fear and end with forever.